two signs before the coming of the Mahdi. Actually, these two signs that I'll mention to you in this video, one will happen during the time of Mahdi as he approaches, and the other sign will take place after the Mahdi. These are the two signs, very, very interesting, very, very important for all of us to understand, know, and be prepared for. If you are interested in this topic, the coming of Mahdi, end of time, Dajjal, Yajuj and Majuj, then consider subscribing to this channel, because this is what we talk in this channel, only this topic. Do not get bored. This is the only topic we talk. End of time. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, before the end of time comes. Now this is the sign that is happening as I speak to you. Right now, as you can hear me talking, this sign is taking place. What is that sign? You have to understand this hadith. Very, very interesting. Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he said, Inna bayna yaday sa'a, close to the hour, ayyaman yurfahu fiha al-ilmu wa yanzilu fiha al-jahlu. Close to this hour, knowledge will be lifted and jahil, ignorance, jahiliyat will prevail. This is what he said in authentic hadith, and this is what we need to talk about, because it is very easy for us to just gloss over it and not understand the implication. He said knowledge will be taken away, knowledge will be lifted. I was at the masjid the other day. I went there to pray Isha. Now this is how this sign is taking place. I was praying Isha, I went to pray Isha, but the prayer did not start. It was time, I believe that was 8 o'clock a few weeks ago. The Imam was not there. So we had to push someone to lead the prayer. Now I could have led the prayer, but I was new to this masjid, so they did not ask me, and I did not volunteer, because I do not volunteer for positions. So they were waiting, and at one point they had to push somebody from the local community who they know to lead the prayer, the Isha prayer. And eventually, after waiting for a while, he stood up and he led the prayer. And I was asking this question, why this is happening? Why the Muslim community, we do not have any leader, any imam, someone who is knowledgeable, in other words, about the Quran to lead us in the prayer? Why we do not have that? Then I thought about this hadith. Very, very interesting, dear brothers and sisters. This hadith you have to understand. If you are living in a community where you have a lot of Muslim, where you have a lot of people who can recite the Quran, subhanallah, you will be very, very blessed by Allah Azza wa Jal. The Prophet said that when a time will come when people will be waiting for prayer, but they will not find any imam. يأتي على الناس زمان يقومون ساعة لا يجدون إماما يصلي بهم. The time will come when people will be waiting for imam for hours, and they will not find لا يجدون إماما, they will not find any imam to lead them in the prayer. This is the sign that is taking place as I speak to you. Somewhere in the world, in some country, you will find people waiting to be led in the prayer. Now this is the sign I want to talk to you about. Now there's another one which is also very interesting, another sign that I want to talk to you about. And this sign is related with something that I have heard on YouTube lecture. I believe Sheikh Bilal Asad, he was talking about this sign. And the sign basically talks about what will happen, and according to my understanding, after doing some research, I found out that this will happen after the Mahdi, after the Imam Mahdi comes. So this is the second sign. It is a Hasan hadith. Abu Dawud reported, Amr ibn al-As radiallahu anh, he narrated this hadith. The Prophet he said, Utrukul Habasha ma tarakukum, leave the people of Habasha as long as they leave you. فَإِنَّهُ لَا يَسْتَخْرِجُ كَنْزَ الْكَعْبَةِ إِلَّا ذُو سُوَقَتَيْنِ مِنَ الْحَبَشَةِ. He said, leave the people of Habasha as long as they leave you, because it will be from this place, Habasha, Ethiopia, a man will come who will take your treasure from Kaaba. Okay, Kanzal Kaabati, they will take their treasure from Kaaba, and this man will come from Habasha. This is the lecture that I was listening to. And what is interesting is that the Shaykh, he mentioned that this man, he will also destroy Kaaba. And I said this in my other videos, that, dear brothers and sisters, the Kaaba cannot be destroyed by non-Muslims, but it was destroyed in the past and in the 700th century, and it will be destroyed again in the future. This is a sign of the end of time that will take place in the future. Now, I'm not done yet. Okay, there is another hadith. People get confused with these two hadiths, and they say, well, maybe this is the same person. Rasulullah SAW, he said, لا تقوم الساعة حتى يخرج رجل من كهتان يسوق الناس بأسواق. And this is a Bukhari hadith, Sahih hadith. Abu Hurairah reported, Rasulullah SAW said, the hour will not establish until a man from the tribe of Kahtan appear, driving people with his stick. This person who is driving people with his stick and the person coming from the Habasha, they are not the same. Okay, they are not the same. This person who will be driving people with stick will be a righteous slave, a righteous Khalif of Allah Azza wa Jal, will come, I personally believe, after the Mahdi. But the one that will destroy the Kaaba will be a man, he is a tyrant, and he is going to destroy Kaaba. Now there is another one I want to mention to you, very, very interesting. Ibn Abbas radiallahu anh, he was talking to his companions, the Tabi'in, and he told them about a time when people will not remember لا يقال الأرض الله الله. People will not take the name of Allah. Very few. At the very end of time, nobody will take the name. But before that happens, there will still be some people who will be taking the name of Allah. La ilaha illallah. So Ibn Abbas radiallahu anh, he was talking to his students, and he mentioned about this hadith that these people will learn the word Allah Azza wa Jal from their father and grandfather. Arifuha an Abi Anjat wa alimuha an Abi Anjat. They will know and learn about this from their grandfather. So the people said, what is the benefit of knowing La ilaha illallah at that time? They asked Ibn Abbas, because these people, all they will know, because the Quran, remember, at the end of time, Quran is gone. Yurfahu fi al-ilmu, that knowledge is being lifted, and that is happening before the end of time. The mushaf that you read, Quran that you have in the masjid, can you imagine? It will be gone. It came down from Allah Azza wa Jal, from the sky, it will be lifted up. So these people said, what benefit La ilaha illallah will bring, because these people are not praying, they are not paying zakah, they are not doing hajj. So what does La ilaha illallah has to do with them? Then he said, tunjihim minan nar, tunjihim minan nar, tunjihim minan nar. This La ilaha illallah will save them from a nar. So a time will come, dear brothers and sisters, when we will not be able to pray. We'll have to wait for the leader, for the imam to come and lead us. If you are in a Muslim country, one day, just one day, tell the imam not to come or pray in a different masjid. Make the masjid without any imam. I'm telling you. And you will see how long you have to wait for somebody to step in and lead the salah. When we should all be leading the salah, we should all be able to lead the salah, because all we have to do is recite the Quran. But I'm challenging you. Go to your local community, ask somebody to lead the prayer. You will see people are pushing each other. Go, you go, I go, you go, you go. I don't know how to recite. Some people are shy. That is okay. But most of the time, the reason they do not want to lead the prayer is because they do not know tajweed, or they do not know the Quran at all. Very little. So when you see this kind of situation coming, going back to point number one, sign, dear my sisters, you know that you are going to be seeing the end of time very soon, and that you have a responsibility, and I have a responsibility to really take this responsibility of learning the Quran, teaching it, and be able to recite it in our prayer. This is our responsibility. We cannot ignore it. And the other one that I mentioned, the sign that will happen in the future, is a sign that will be coming at the very end of time. We, dear brothers and sisters, will be in desperation. After the Mahdi comes, Isa ibn Maryam, he will be buried, he will die, he will come, he will die, and he will be buried in Medina. We talk about this hadith, Yathribu or Kharabu Medina. We say that there is a hadith, Umranu Baytul Maqdis wa Kharabu Yathrib. That hadith, it is being fulfilled right now. Because if you take a look at Medina right now, we do see that Medina is not significant at all. People hardly know what this city is about. But the ultimate fulfillment of this prophecy will happen when Isa ibn Maryam will come and he will pass away. And then people will bury him in Medina. Okay, people bury him in Medina. And Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam said, at that time, the city Medina will be completely Kharabu Yathrib, means knowledge. Not a single religious person will leave. Not a person, not a muhid, it said, will leave. People who are monotheist, none of them will leave. And a man will pass by. This is what makes this hadith even more interesting. A man or a stranger, he will pass by the city of Medina and he will say, in this city there used to be Muslims, now none. So knowledge will be lifted from Medina. People who are righteous believers, knowledgeable people will be gone, and at the same time people will also die. And how that will happen, how people will die in the Medina, there is a hadith that talks about a breeze coming from Yemen, and that breeze, kind of like a soft wind, will take the life of these people in Medina. I will inshallah next video talk about what is happening right now in Medina, but today I just wanted to touch base on this few hadiths, some of the signs of the end of time, because wallahi, we are living at the end of time. We are living in the end of time. We are living in the end of time. I talk about the malhama in my other channel, where I talk about what is happening in the world in terms of, a malhama taking place, a probability for it. If you want to find out about those channels and listen to my videos about the end of time malhama, you can always go and check those videos. The channel name is Syed's Show. Okay, Syed's Show, SYEDZZ Show, and then inshallah you'll be able to find on. If you need to know the link, leave a comment. Inshallah I will post the link here. I have few comment. Salam brother, wa alaikum salam, pinkin, salam alaikum, wa alaikum salam. But I think this is not the time that knowledge, Islam or Quran will be lifted from the world. Well, the time has not been okay, so the requirement is there that this knowledge will be lifted, the Quran will be lifted, but the timing is not there yet completely. It is going towards that direction. Okay, it is going towards that direction, slowly but surely. How many people know the Quran these days? How many people open the book? Ask yourself even, do you read the Quran every day? Okay, ask those questions. Which country? I do not know, Brother Adam Khan. We should all send imams to those countries you mentioned. Imams, subhanallah. I do not know. Which country are you from, Brother Adam Khan? Stephen Tiger, Mahdi did not come, still stop telling people lies. Okay, Stephen Tiger, this is a very rude comment. You should not talk like this. Second of all, the Mahdi and the end of time, it is proven by hadith that we are living end of time. Okay, Rasulullah said, my coming and the coming of the hour is like the distance of 2 fingers. Okay, and even closer. There is a hadith on that. So if you say we are not living at the end of time or the coming of the Mahdi, then you are denying that hadith. Okay, I'm not going to read anything from Stephen Tiger. I might even ask the admin to block him, because again, you need to be respectful. You can disagree, but you cannot be disrespectful or rude. Okay, so then I have Yasir, assalamu alaikum, wa alaikum assalam. Okay, Saeed, is the mountain of gold remains of Mansa Musa? Mountain of gold remains of Mansa Musa. I don't believe that. Mountain of gold is a completely separate sign, a completely different kind of miracle, if you like. Why? Because this is something that will pop up from nowhere once Yushikul Furat, once the Furat river is dried. When I say dry, the hadith doesn't say it will be completely dry, it will be barren land. It can mean that there will still be some water left, but majority of the water will be gone, but not completely necessarily. And then I have comment name, what year you started the video about the end of time? Subhanallah, I'm starting this and actually making video since I believe 2017 or 16, but I'm starting this I think now 6 years, I don't remember, but it's been a long time, subhanallah. And the more I study, the more I don't study, okay, I read one hadith and then I go to the next one. No, that's not how I study. I write down those hadiths in one book. So the benefit of that is that I can see all the hadith and connect them and see what is the possible time frame of events. Okay, we do not say this event will happen after this or after this. There is no such thing that this will happen after this. Yes, there are some hadiths that talks about specifics and they are da'if hadiths. They're not strong. But when you write down all of the hadith, you can see for yourself. You have eagle view, okay, eagle-eyes view. Will Imam Mahdi appear in technology era? Much sense. I personally believe he will not appear when we have the technology that we have today, like internet, Google, Facebook, whatever, mobile phone, whatever we have. This will not remain. When the Mahdi is here, the technologies that we know today will be completely gone, and that will happen because of WW3. Everything will be back to square one. We'll start from, let's say, Stone Age. This is when the Mahdi will appear, this is when the Dajjal will appear, and we will see, Allahu Alam, but this is my understanding, that no, we will not see this technology during the time of Mahdi. Okay, imagine yourself, if Mahdi is in, let's say, in Medina or in Al-Quds, and US, Russia has all these fighter jets. Do you think they will sit back and just watch what Mahdi is doing? No. They're going to send those fighter jets. They're going to invade that country militarily to capture Mahdi. So it makes sense that there will be no such thing like military or fighter jet or technology. Allahu Alam, but this is my understanding. And there is another hadith that talks about people will use the bows and arrows of Ya'juj and Ma'juj. And Ya'juj and Ma'juj will come very close to Mahdi. In fact, Isa ibn Maryam will be alive when Ya'juj and Ma'juj is here. So the technology will be gone. People will use the bows and arrows of Ya'juj and Ma'juj and will be living in that time. Allahu Alam, Allah knows the best. Artificial human has not created yet like shopping item. Subhanallah, brother Saif made a comment. That's an okay. Yasir, what's your opinion on Sheikh Imran Hussain? Sheikh Imran Hussain, I do not agree with him. I find, with all due respect, I find his Aqidah problematic. He makes claim of the future based on his knowledge, and he said it, quote unquote, Hadith is not knowledge, it is information. How come Hadith is the knowledge? Because everything the Prophet said is knowledge, is ilm. Why he would talk something that is not beneficial, that is not of ilm? He's here to make fun of us or to make fun of the deen? No. Ya'uzubillah. He is here to teach us. And it's mentioned in the Quran that he teaches you, yu'allamul hikmah, and he purifies you. So he is here to teach us. Imam Hussain, he said, no, that is not the case. I will inshallah let you go. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.